Hey guys, I wanted to come on here and just give you my thoughts on the whole Wonder Woman 84 deal. As you probably have heard by now, um, Wonder Woman 84 is heading to, simultaneously is heading to theaters as well as to HBO Max. But the catch with its release on HBO Max is it's only for a limited time. It's a 30-minute, it's a 30-month, a 30-day, I should say, 30-day window. So in other words, it'll be on HBO Max from Christmas Day, December 25th to January 25th, and then it'll be taken off. Now, will it go back to HBO Max? Oh yeah, it'll go back before 2021's out. There's no doubt. But the reason, this is happening, according to people like John Campa, is due to the fact that basically, um, they want to, they have deals, in place with all these other outlets like Vudu and Movies Anywhere and Prime Video and all of them for digital distributing, like for rental or purchase, after a theatrical run. So they got to keep committed to that, even with this 30-day release onto HBO Max with no extra cost, like what Disney did with Mulan. Now, here's the big question that people have: is this the future of movies, especially big budget movies? And I have to say yes, I think it is. But I think it's going to be an optional future. And what I mean by optional is whether or not we go through another pandemic like this, and hopefully won't be, whether or not I should say we go through another pandemic like this again, and hopefully it won't be for another, for a very long time, I should say. Um, I can see this being an optional choice for a lot of studios because not just because of the possibility of another pandemic, but for the fact that from a box office perspective, if a movie like, let's say, Tom and Jerry, which some, even Andre Meadows of Black Nerd Comedy, feels should be a direct-to-streaming release, but like Tom and Jerry, Chaos Walking, something like that, basically, if they feel if the studios releasing them feel, hey, it's not making the money it should, box office-wise, then they can easily pull it off or pull it down, but they won't have to worry about losing revenue because they could, or losing revenue or anything, because it'll automatically be, it'll automatically still be on their streaming service. And then, from there, they can decide whether or not to do the limitation like what they're doing with Wonder Woman, or what they could do is just keep it on there permanently. Now, now here's the thing: is this new? Is this whole simultaneous release of theaters and on television kind of deal new? No, it's not. It's not new, and I'll tell you why. Because this is something that's been going on for a long time. A lot of small to minor to major independent studios have done this through the agreements and deals with cable companies and the on-demand service and on-demand pay-per-view services. Yeah, you would have to pay basically a premium cost of $14.99, $15, just like you would do for a movie ticket to watch it from the comfort of your own home. But that's the that's the only identical that's the only identical similarity. The difference being is instead of being in a movie house or in a movie room, cinema room, watching it with a bunch of other people, you can be in the comfort of your own home, watching it with the power of your remote in your hand, and then like I did here, pausing, pausing it when you want to get up, get something to eat, go to the restroom, stuff like that. So, so yeah, it's nothing really new. This is not really new when it comes to the overall movie releasing, movie distributing, if you know what I mean. Because like I said, minor, small to major independent studios have done this with their films and with their films that they've done. But it is new for the bigger studios. It is new for it is new. It is kind of a new thing, I should say, with the bigger studios and the big budget movies like Wonder Woman and previously Mulan and Trolls and Scoob. It's a new venture for them because these are things that a lot of the people behind the movies, like the directors and the writers and the producers, are like, look, we want these in the theaters. We don't want to go that VOD route, but yet here we go. Here we are. So Yeah, honestly, I do think it's the future, but I think it's going to be an optional future, like I said. And what I mean by optional is, and like I said, what I mean by optional is I think it's just going to be something that theaters are going to look into, and and they're going to look into for two possible reasons. One, if we ever go through another situation like we're going through now, which hopefully won't be for a while, or two, if a movie like, let's say, Tom and Jerry or Chaos Walking isn't doing well box office wise in the theaters, they could just easily pull it, but pull it with the note with the knowledge and the note with the knowledge of the fact that people will still be able to see it because they'll have that streaming option, um, to fall back on, and possibly use that streaming option to go to either remove, let's say, a 30-day window to an unlimited window and just make it a permanent fixture. So yeah, I think it is the future. I think it is the future, and I think it's an optional future. For for any kind of reason they can think of. Mostly, I think it will be for like the failing at the box office, if you know what I mean. Even though it doesn't, live up and get the revenue that they would hope it would. So, so honestly, I do think, like I said, I do think it's the future. I think it's an optional future. I don't think it's like a, straight up, future where it's always going to be something they do with every movie, big budget or small budget. It's going to be optional. And it's going to be an optional one that, again, if the movie doesn't do well financially at the box office, then they could pull it with the knowing or with the know-how or the knowledge that they can fall back on the fact that it's still on the streaming service, and that, let's say you're on HBO Max or Disney Plus or Peacock or whatever, on Apple TV Plus, you can easily, just take off that limited run, like the 30-day run or whatever, and make it a permanent fixture. So I think, honestly, it is the future, but it's an optional future. And, you know, I think a lot of us are just going to have to get used to that, you know, when that happens, if that happens. Because I definitely see them keeping the movies mostly in theaters, but then probably optioning for a streaming release if, like I said, box office rise, it doesn't succeed the way they want. So yeah, Wonder Woman 84 though is definitely a big deal. It definitely gives HBO Max a bit of an advantage with trying to lure in subscribers and all that to the platform, as well as gives them an advantage by saying, hey, unlike Disney Plus, we're not going to charge you anything to watch this movie. It'll be part of your subscription no matter what. It's the only catch is it's going to be a 30-day release. So yeah, basically, you know, basically that's what's going on with Wonder Woman 84. And again, I definitely think going forward, this is going to be an optional future for movie studios, big studios, along with the independent studios going forward. So that's all I'm going to really say, guys. Let me know what you all think about Wonder Woman 84, getting the simultaneous release on both theaters and HBO Max. And do you agree that this is an optional future? This is going to be the optional future for a lot of movies going forward. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you all later.